What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This is the 4th gen, the new one, TRD Off Road 4x4, coming in at $52,200. Got the nice celestial silver on it. So comment below, do you think the new Tacoma's pricing is out of control? Or do you think, given the market, given the competition, is the new Tacoma the way to go? Is this the best new mid-size truck? So let's find that hood latch. So one thing, there's gonna be an old school manual prop rod, and we can find that latch. Now underneath the hood, the only engine available is a 4-cylinder turbo, or of course you can get a hybrid version of the same motor. This one has the 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 278 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. This can tow though 6,300 pounds with payload around 1,600 pounds. It does have an 8-speed automatic transmission, 4-wheel drive transfer case, of course, and then running on an 18.2 gallon fuel tank. You're looking at 19 miles per gallon in the city with 24 out on the highway. So go ahead and close this. Moving to the styling, the new 4th gen is definitely a little bit more rugged than the previous gen. I like the style. TRD Off-Road is going to get a lot of plastic trim just so you're not dinging up all the paint, gives it more of a rugged appearance. You have a nice set of blacked out headlights with LEDs. You do have halogen for the turn signal, some nice silver trim throughout the grille, black plastic for the grille itself, Toyota badge, and then you're gonna see your front safety sensor, forward parking sensors, nice LED fog lights as well, and a pretty cool design. You got all this plastic material throughout the center leading to the skid plate area. I like it, I like the style. Some sharp lines on the side portion of the hood itself, and then some cutouts in the front of the fender to provide some airflow, but it definitely comes together very nicely. At the side profile, you're gonna see these nice 17-inch TRD wheels with satin black and then the polished silver. You have a nice set of BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, and this one's gonna have the Bilstein suspension. You can see the massive black fender flares, sharp body lines for the fender, sharp lines for the side with Tacoma blacked out. And you can see the silver on the mirror caps with a turn signal, plastic black on the door handles, and then you can see all the plastic surrounding the windows. With the crew cabin, shorter bed, has a really good side profile with nice proportions all around. I like how the roof line even cuts backwards with like this integrated spoiler, third brake light, power sliding rear glass. And then you can see the wider rear fenders. Has a pretty cool look to it with the nice black fender flares, and then of course the TRD Off-Road badge. You have a nice sharp body line in the rear portion of the bedside, and then just the painted plastic caps for the rear bumper itself. There is a side step on this particular truck, and then part of the frame has a lift point as well, which is great for off-roading. Rear parking sensors, all of your trailer hitch connections and everything. Tacoma is stamped into the tailgate with a nice black inlay. 4x4 badge is blacked out, and then you can see Toyota on the back with a backup camera. And popping that open, nice soft open, and we even have a full spray and bed liner in here. On the right side, you are gonna get a 3-prong outlet, a little bit of storage down below, some LED lights in here, and then a hook in each corner for a tie down. And then I like how you're gonna see the 3 different rails for extra accessories. We do have a little bit more storage over on this left side, and then the tailgate doesn't weigh much. You can very easily close it up. We even have a black tailpipe as well coming out the side, and a nice look overall. Taking a look at the interior, this one has a 2-tone interior with the gray and the lighter gray fabric. And then the rear door panel is fully made of plastic, so nothing really fancy. Just hard plastic on the armrest, which is a downfall, I will say. Nice little grab handle with your window control, release handle as well. And then for the seats, you don't really have too many fancy amenities. Headrest will fold down for better driver visibility. You have some plugs, cup holders, just a little bit of storage. And then popping this open, I really like this storage bin, which is huge under here, going from one seat to the next. And then if you pull this strap, you can pull this down. This will fold nice and flat. Get the subwoofer for the JBL system, as well as some cargo over on the other side. Now at 5'11", hopping in here with the driver's seat at my height, it's not too bad back here. There are no air vents, so kind of a letdown. No center armrest either, so it's certainly not the best. And then the hard armrest isn't the most comfortable. However, it's roomy enough. You do have good headroom, good legroom even. And then the seat itself is comfortable, just I wish there was more recline. And then we have that sliding rear glass window as well. So it's all right, could have been better though. Heading on to the front seat now. You can of course grab the handle to lock and unlock it. And then the door panel looks just like in back, however you do have some padding for the armrest. Nice grab handle, tons of storage, all of your controls. Both front seats are going to be power operated. You even have lumbar support that you can adjust. And then I like the bolsters down below. It looks pretty good. Two-tone material. Has a cool look to it. And then I really like that steering wheel. Hopping inside now. Foot on the brake. Let's fire it up. You're going to see the perforated leather along with the smooth leather. Toyota badge with some faux stitching. Then we have controls on the left side for some Bluetooth. We also have cruise control on this right side. Taking a look at the center screen, you can scroll left to right and change what you'd like to see in the screen. And if you hold down the OK icon, you can actually adjust each individual screen itself. So pretty nice overall. You get a good amount of information and decently customizable as well. Going to the far right screen, same sort of deal. Have the stock on the right for the windshield wipers, of course, headlight and turn signals on the left. There are extra auxiliaries, traction control, interior dimming, one of your air vents. And then we have the removable JBL system. So this will pop out. It's a nice wireless Bluetooth speaker. So if you're gonna go camping or something, that's a cool little touch. Will be interesting to see if people lose these over time. And you just pop that back in place. On the right side, we have the Tacoma name stamped, a little bit of storage up here, a nice sized glove box. And then this massive screen honestly has the same functions as the smaller screen. This is a standalone option. You will see it in a lot of the trucks. Of course, you have to set up the screen to get the full screen navigation going. Of course, audio, Bluetooth connectivity. A few things for trip information you're able to take a look at. Going back, you have vehicle alerts, if any, and then all sorts of settings. So it's a nice screen overall, kind of simple, but honestly, big tiles to touch, so it's pretty easy to use. And then this one just has a standard backup camera. You can adjust the view a little bit. If you do have the full 360 cameras, that's a pretty sweet screen to have. We have our heated steering wheel control, heated seats, your temperature you can very easily adjust, fan speed as well, and these nice large dials, and all sorts of controls down below with your toggles. We do have the trailer brake adjustments as well, wireless charging, different plugs, extra storage, nice grab handle. And then down below we have our four-wheel drive selection. So in here, you are going to see the different drive modes. You can just toggle this left and right. You can see the sport, normal, and eco. And then if you're in 4-low, we have multi-terrain select, crawl control. We do have a tow mode as well. I can just tap that and you'll see it go into there. So nice amount of different drive modes, locking rear differential, and then you can see some cup holders and some rubber padding for the armrest. A little bit of storage, and then one last look. Nice black headliner, we have dome lights. You can also see a sunglass holder, and there's garage door buttons underneath your mirror. All right, so setting off in the Tacoma. Just giving it like quarter throttle, letting it shift around 4. You can really tell this turbo engine has some power. Honestly, I'm impressed with it. I think it drives really nice. It has the power. The transmission as well delivers the power really well. You know, this is going to be a much nicer driving experience than the previous generation. So the engine's pretty cool. And if you want that extra power, the hybrid is going to give you that electric down low assistance. So they've done a pretty cool job. Some normal things like visibility. You have a really good view around as you'd expect without the hood scoop, which will be on the TRD Sports and of course the Pros. You have a really low hood, so it's kind of easy to see around. The mirrors do a good job. And then over your right and left shoulder, the rear window does seem a little small, especially when you look at it through the mirror. It's definitely on the short side. You can still see around it nicely, so I wouldn't really say there's anything wrong with that. These seats are pretty darn comfortable. I feel like I sink into them really well. However, there are so many adjustments to where I can raise the seat up really high or really low, depending on, you know, what kind of view I want. So I think a lot of people are gonna find this to be a really comfortable truck. I did compare this to a 3rd gen Tacoma, and these seats are far superior. They're definitely more comfortable. You feel more like you're just sunk into the truck. I like how the dashboard is a little bit higher than the doors, so it gives it kind of an elevated design, gives it some layers to the interior. So it's a nice place to be. I think it's a nice driving experience. I mean, it's just smooth to drive. You can hear the turbo just a little bit, so it kind of adds a little bit of fun factor to it with the, you know, the hearing of the mechanics, which I think is kind of cool. Ride quality, this TRD Off-Road, of course, is set up with those Bilsteins for off-roading. This is a bumpy road, and honestly, I can feel them a little bit more than I was expecting. You would expect the more off-road suspension to be softer. However, I feel like this kind of does bounce a little bit over the bump, so wasn't expecting that because I've driven the Sports and the SR5s, and this does seem a little more bouncy, a little more jarring than those trucks. So maybe the Pro and the Trail Hunter are going to be the one that's going to be floating over bumps better. But it still does drive smooth enough. It feels like a truck, I would say. So of the trim levels I've driven, this one definitely drives like a truck. It kind of has that feeling to it. The steering weight is really nice too. It's direct and heavy enough, but it's not so heavy that it just feels cumbersome, especially if you're gonna be off-roading in this, which you better be, being this is the TRD off-road. So good steering weight, good feedback from there. Really good maneuverability for leg room. I mean, this is genuinely a comfortable truck to drive. Now, as far as use of materials go, that could be improved, I think, a lot. I feel like there are quite a lot of plastics in here. I mean, for $52,000, this isn't cheap. And you are gonna see some cheap plastics. You do have some padding, but everything else, I mean, is just hard plastic. So that's kind of a letdown. I know you can spend $8,000 on a premium package to get you the nice seats with the ventilated options and the nice, synthetic leather all throughout. So I really wish they had a affordable premium package to just get you the nicer materials in here so it doesn't just feel like cheap plastic. That's probably my biggest complaint. And I know a lot of you guys would agree with that, and then the backseat space could be a lot better, especially with the air vents. So there are some things to this that are a little cheap compared to the previous generations, but I think as a whole, the increase in capabilities, the technology, the comfort level, as well as the drive, it's a nice truck to drive. I think you kind of want to spend more money and just get a fully loaded one, get that $8,000 package, because then it'll feel like a really, really nice truck. So that's my one complaint with this already being pretty pricey. If you don't have that package, you kind of get a cheap interior. So one drawback, I think it looks good, just the fit and finish could be better with nicer materials. So that's kind of it for the generic driving. Definitely a sweet truck overall. Just, you really want to spend more, unfortunately, to get the nicest one available.